there, you are watching The Angel and the Exorcist show. My name is Samantha Jayne. I am known as The Angel, and I am psychic medium and trance healer.
And my name is Paul Devlin, and I'm known as The Exorcist.
And make sure you watch till the end,
Because you never know what might turn up.
So shall we talk about demons today?
Go on then. Why not?
I know it's obviously massive to you.
It's for me, life-changing subject. Definitely.
So what are they? What are demons? Anyone watching this that doesn't truly understand what is a demon?
In my experience, there are three different types. So you get the demons that are calling from different dimensions, different places. So quite correctly said, multi-dimensional. You can get demons that are responsible for possession over an amount of time, so they take over human form or human form, which we'll go into in a minute. And then you get the other type of demons that can be called in by humans, so they will work with the dark arts. So humans will call them in to perform rituals. Not all demons are bad. You can get demons that are here for good purpose. It's just, again, people sort of are worried by the word. It can affect them. But if you're in the work that I am, then I do work with demons that do help me.
Okay. So do you think that those demons come from the category of what is written in lots of scripture, where it's the fallen angels that Satan sort of rebelled against God, the universe, the creator?
Yeah, I mean, many people would put it that way. I would say at some point a demon is an angel that turned itself against itself. It lost faith in its own abilities.
I work predominantly in the mediumistic and then what we call the shadow.
Yeah.
But when I have touched on the demonics, or what people would class as demonics, my involvement has been more with where they have formed through all the negative, the bloodbaths, to form the what we call a diva entity, which is the black mass that comes out of a building with a lot of history.
Yeah.
Takes on a human form, a bit like we see in the films where it comes up and transforms, and then it has the red eyes, and that's how you know.
Yeah. So how do you deal with that type of energy or entity, if you like?
I work on an angelic level.
Right.
And the other thing is, because it is, if I say it's man-made, it's been man-made over time.
Over time, yeah.
So the way that we work is I bring in the angelics to clear space and bring in space and raise the vibration. But as crazy as it sounds, we also bang.
Yeah.
Because if it's energy, it will and drop down. And then while it's not all collected in mass, you can deal with it fast. So how would someone know though?
With possession, your actions can be very aggressive. You have a surface temper that can just explode really quickly. Sexually, especially sexually, with your partner, you will be rough, you'll be scratched, you may even be bitten, and I'm talking chunks of flesh.
Yeah.
And also your eating habits. They eat some really strange things, people that have possession. I was called out to one lady, and she would often be woken up by her son because he would hear her crashing around in the kitchen, and she'd actually had a hair conditioner in the sandwich.
It's mayonnaise.
And you'd sort of try and talk to her, sort of go away.
Yeah.
So they don't have any memory of it.
Yeah.
So there are many different types that aren't mental health. But what I will say is there are also cases where I'll turn around and go, you probably need to go and see mental health nurse.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is possession. This is a mental health case. So it's about, we have to learn those tipping points, and the same with schizophrenia as well.
I mean, there are people who, I believe anyway, there are people put on this earth who are what we call negatives, who come here to pull light workers, light bearers off path. So whenever someone who is here trying to do something good, they will often experience something with a negative to try to pull them and distract them off doing that work.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of those people are drawn into the demon worship because of the power. What's the benefit? Why would a demon want to possess a human being? Let's call us that today.
Most of the time they want to level up. You know, we level up as in our work, which I've heard you talk about quite a lot, in the same that a demon wants to level up. You know, and the longer it has possession, if it achieves suicide for that host, then they level up. So that's their purpose. And the important thing here is not to hate demons. That's what they are. That's who they are. That's it. But it is important for people to understand that you only have a certain amount of time before these things take hold. Because if you don't get them out after a certain amount of time and you try, you will probably kill the host and yourself, because an exorcism is an extremely dangerous thing to do, and you have to be in the zone.
So what's the connection? Why does religion like to bring up the demon stuff, would you say?
I think a lot of it is down to control.
Okay.
Demons are based on a lot on fear, and if you scare people to the fact that scare them into being good, then they are easier to control. You know, I don't want Satan near me. I don't want the demons to come and get me. You know, just because you don't wash your hands, you know, so many times a day, they're not going to come and take you.
No. I mean, we say all things to there's childhood things, isn't there? If you don't go to bed, the bogeyman will get you.
Yeah.
If you don't, you got to go to bed. The Sandman is coming.
You know, and like what's the other one? If you keep pulling faces of the wind change, stay with that. Well, actually, people make a very good living pulling faces. So
look at me.
Yeah. But yeah, and one thing I wanted to sort of ask you in your work.
Yeah.
When you do a lot of clearing work, when you pull dark energy out of people, how do you deal with that?
Because I instantly clear myself before I've even woke the client.
Right.
From the treatment, I've cleared myself in that treatment as well. When I'm working with the energy, I work in two ways. Either I have in my crew, as I call them, I have a little Tibetan boy, monk boy, whatever you want to call it, a little Tibetan boy, who carries a silver dish. And this is when I do any psychic surgery work, anything like that. What I remove gets put in the silver bowl and gets taken off.
Right.
If I'm dealing with something that has no desire and I have to do battle to go into, you know, I cannot get it's more form.
Yeah.
Then
the crystal ball.
Yeah, I use my
black ball.
My black ball. Yeah. But I use this because this one has, if we can pick it up on camera, this one has the eye.
Yeah.
Can you see the eye?
Yeah.
So I use this as galactic black hole, and I send it through.
Yeah. Okay.
To where it came from. I don't allow it to go anywhere else. The royal eye, don't allow it to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
But where it came from. So if someone has done something to somebody, I send it back. Yeah. I write return to sender on that envelope, that big black envelope, and I send it back. And then with myself, I say I use earth clearance energies and the angelics energies to cleanse myself as well, from top to bottom and across all my parallels and dimensions, before I bring the client round.
Right. And these things don't want to give up without a fight. You know, when you pull these things out, quite often you will see the face change, the body of the host.
Yeah.
Because there's a fight going on. You know, that host or the human, they want their life back.
Yeah.
You know, and this thing inside is like, no, I'm quite comfortable here. You know, I need to level up. I've got things to do. One that I always remember was one of the first ones I did. After this momentous battle, there was like 4 or 5 people around the bed, and she walked like an alien. She walked like that on her tiptoes. I could see it like this. And her hair was all like wiry and horrible colour, and her eyes were black. And when we pulled this thing out, I remember going to sort of get a glass of water and just chill out for a bit outside. Wow, that was about. And when I went back inside, they've got this lady, a bowl of ice cream, and they sat her in a chair by the fire. There's a bowl of ice cream still, and she was just eating it just like a little girl.
To reground, yeah.
And the hair colour come back, no more wrinkles, everything had returned to usual.
Yeah.
That's the power that they have.
Yeah.
They can change your physical body.
And you know, and I'm happy to share in the show that I have had to call upon your services myself.
Yeah.
And just the once. But but you know, energy exchanges.
Yeah.
I was with a partner at the time who was quite a mixing with darker beings and was naturally open.
Yeah.
And you know, when we share a bed, we do other things in the bed, we're sharing energy, and that's how I picked that up.
Yeah.
When I was at my most vulnerable, like anyone, when they're fast asleep. So I remember firsthand what that was. I can remember phoning you and saying, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Not my body. I could feel my light fading and fading and fading behind the body.
It was, to me, it was the picture. Because I was on the train on the way back from London. Yeah. And your picture came up and I went, that's not so.
No.
Because you had dark shades on and your hair was all dark and like this. And I was like, that's not you.
No.
But that just goes to show that we are all human.
Absolutely.
You know, and we all need help. You've helped me many times.
Yeah.
But that's why we work so well together.
I only have really 2 memories of the experience. One is I can remember hearing a scratching sound and thinking, weirdly used lying there, you're thinking, what is that noise? And then you realise it's you. And I remember I believe I was twisting. I mean, I actually got rid of the couch because of the scratch marks
on the side, yeah.
In the couch. I couldn't have those there anymore. From where I was, I don't know, twisting up or whatever and scratching. And then it left through my throat. Do you remember?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
It was literally like something off a movie. I can remember going.
Because I just remember.
Not that I'm mocking it and laughing, but my God, I know I could not speak for 2 days afterwards because the damage it did as it came through.
Yeah. Right, well, an attachment is exactly what it says. It normally hops on your back. It's got suckers and it's all over you and you can't do this like this. And you can normally burn off the attachment and like you do, send it through the window. Yeah. Or send it back to source. Yeah. So it can start again and make the right decision this time. Whereas with possession, that's internal. It's an internal thing, and you can't just burn it off. It has to come out. So that's the difference.
And what characters, if someone was observing someone, what would they notice in that person for you to make them believe that they are possessed? Not
Change
physical, you know?
Yeah, I mean, change in behaviour. As I said before, it's the aggression, your body more than anything else, because you start to take on the shape of it. And you might slouch. When you walk, you might walk awkward.
Yeah.
And occasionally your voice will change.
Yeah.
You'll look at people in certain ways. Your eye colour will change, literally like that, and go back again. Because it's almost like internally it has to breathe. It has to come to the surface to take a gulp of air.
Okay.
And when it does that, it will show black eyes and the teeth or whatever it is, and then go back in again. And they are normally the signs, because you know we can only hold our breath for a certain amount of time. It's the same with them. They have to come up.
Yeah, because I always say attachments attach to humans because they need human energy to still exist.
Yes,
like
exactly.
A leech or whatever you want to call that. But so the demonic is looking for that gulp of air to keep to survive still.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Can items have that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything can be possessed. Anything can be affected by energy. Can go in. You have to then ask the question, what is it gaining from being an item?
Yeah.
Most things like wooden tables or shelves, things like this, or mirrors, often have possession.
Yeah.
Because wood is a very good source of energy. You can burn wood, it breathes, it sweats, and when it has that dark being inside it, it can then think of how much you've got on here.
Yeah.
If this had demonic entity in it, it would then possess all this.
Right.
And you would then touch it, or you might sell an item to somebody or give an item to somebody, then that's then infected in the home, and so on and so forth. So it's very easy. It's like a virus.
Yeah.
Coin.
It was a coin, was it?
Demonic coin.
A demonic coin surfaced, didn't it?
Yeah, that was fun to
Here in Wiltshire, of all the places to get the most powerful gateway coin surface.
It's
off the head.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What an incredible thing, and just the power that was in that coin.
I never forget the message, not to mock it at all, but I remember getting a WhatsApp message from a client saying, "Sam, do you know what this is? My friend's just clearing out her nan's flat who's just passed, and she's just found it in her sock drawer."
So it went to the sea.
Into the sea.
It went to the sea. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah. And by the way, in case you say anything, I did get permission. So then just go throwing stuff willy-nilly into the sea.
Yeah, so next time you're out metal detecting in Wiltshire, you want to be careful about these coins you pick
people
up.
Will go,
apparently.
"Where's the sea in Wiltshire, Paul?" I can multi-dimensional travel.
Cotswold Water Park.
Don't tell anybody.
That's the nearest
I'm
sea.
never going skiing there again. Sam, we were talking about attachments earlier on, but what is the difference between a demon and the attachment energy that you work with?
When someone comes to me presenting attachment, what we would look for is a change in mindset, but also a change in personality.
Right.
And random thinking that is so not theirs. I mean, like, I wouldn't dream of hurting anyone, physically hurting anyone. But when you suddenly have a moment where you, for no reason, you think, I could just pick up that statue, that Asher on the table, and smack her around the head, she'd be dead. And you're thinking, where the hell did that come from? Because that's the person, because attachment is human.
Yes.
Obviously spirit, but human. that's someone else's thinking. Because what happens is their personality has to merge with yours. All right, and also suddenly having a change of views, opinions, what you want to eat, things like that, what you're drawn to, because it's like, you could describe it as like having a split personality. So Fred over here is kind and lovely, whereas Dennis over here is a nasty mouthed so and so, yeah, and you keep bouncing between the two. All right, so it's basically, I would say, personality traits like that, and that, where the hell did that come from? Kind of thinking and actions and stuff like that. I'm not talking that whenever you out, someone cuts you up at the roundabout as you leave here today, Paul, and you have a road rage moment that you are suddenly having an attachment. But when it is continually thinking, that don't feel right. And also people can feel tired. I always describe it as like, you've got to think you're pregnant. Your energy is being used for two entities to form, because attachment is a human spirit that needs to connect to a human being to be able to be in that cycle of production of energy in order to still exist. And that's why attachments can be passed on. So I have to obviously protect myself when I deal with the attachment, so I don't just take it home myself. Some people don't know what to do when they've died.
No, quite.
They have clueless what the hell is happening, and in that time window they have, they forget to catch the bus. All right. Others, because there's not someone hasn't come to collect them. They've not trusted that they know and recognise. They've not trusted, so they've not gone. Others can be in such grief and held back by the living's grief that they don't fully pass. But then you can also have those that did such horrendous things in this life that they have an oh shit moment. And suddenly go all holier than thou and think they're about to meet their maker and be accountable for everything that they've done. So they choose not to go for fear of, would it be retribution? Is that right? Fear of retribution. And then you also have those who have, and this is a negative attachment, those who have done horrendous things, like it, and if you think I'm going there, you can jog on. I'm going to stay here and create mayhem, because that's what I like. One thing that I am curious about though, why are you working with demons, Paul? You're so chilled, laid back, gentle soul. Why?
I guess the first response is why not?
But I say that about everything, but not that.
Why? I guess because I was put in a situation where I was doing a spirit rescue that turned very quickly into a possession.
Oh right, okay.
And I didn't know what to do. This chant came into my head like an Indian chant. I don't know where it came from. So I started doing an Indian chant, and this thing just went and left its guy, and he just went bonk on the ground, cracked his head. And from that moment, I thought, right, I need to do something a little bit more than just spirit rescue, because I've been doing spirit rescue for 10 years now, involved with the paranormal for X amount of years. I need to up my game. So I found an exorcist, a Buddhist exorcist, and he basically wanted to know everything I'd done over the past 20 years. So I wrote to him, and then I went to a boot camp, and then once I was sort of like, yeah, okay, you're not a wacko, we will start to train you. And it's basically because I want to help people. At the end of the day, there are points where people don't know who else to turn to. They go to doctors, psychologists, and all these other people, drop pills and potions and God knows what. And I'm normally the last line of defence
what's one that you remember? What sticks out with you the most?
I think the hardest one I ever did was a lady phoned me up, and she knew she had possession, and this thing was presenting itself in a way that it wanted to be trained. So this lady had come to me and said, I want to be trained. I want you to train me. And I said to her, look, you know, I can't just click your fingers and train you. There has to be a reason or a purpose for it. So I went round her house, and she said, I felt rubbish ever since I mentioned that to you. And it was probably one of the quickest ones I'd ever done, but one of the most violent reactions that I've ever done, because we were in the kitchen and she'd made me a ginger and lemon tea. I'll never ever forget it.
I think it's like never ever drink it again.
Drink ginger and lemon tea. And she was talking to me, and she just started sort of freezing and like this. And I just stood behind her, and I was like, you know, go on, out you come. Which every exorcism's different. Normally you lie down, sometimes you sit down, doesn't matter. Yeah. And as I'm behind her, she's trying to grab my head and quite literally rip it. And the one thing I do remember is that her hands were just like that. They were claw.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was scratching it. She was trying to get me, and I was pushed this thing and dissolved it. And the minute it went, she just went down on the kitchen floor. I was like that. And I kind of caught her. And she just sat on the floor and wept for about 10 minutes until she was strong enough. And I was ready to pick her up and put her on a chair. And after that, she said, I don't think I want to train.
No, would you?
You know.
So when that demon comes out, does it die? Is it over? Does it end? What happens?
In normal circumstances, my demonic guides will take care of it.
Right. Okay. Which means what?
They will take it back. They'll take it through. If I dissolve it, I can't talk you through the process, but there's a process I go through, which will then dissolve that, and you will only know when it comes out, because as I said before, they come up for air. Yeah. And as you're pulling them out, you then know at that point, when they're kind of at the halfway phase, whether your demonic guides are gonna be there. They're there anyway. Yeah. Or you're gonna do it. Yeah. So it's literally split second.
So that is the end of this show, and also it is the end of series 1. We hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, then come back and watch us in September when we launch series 2.
And we'll have some fascinating guests for you and some more fascinating subjects.
And if there is something that you would love us to sit here and discuss, then get in touch from the links below and let us know. And of course, if you need our help, get in touch through the links below.
So don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll see you back for series 2.
Bye.
Bye.
And guess what we found when we were looking through the footage?
Are you ready?
Yeah. Demons! Your lips didn't even move!
Hang on, we'll do that again. Look. So you can't, so just so you don't move.
Wow. Come on! That's somebody messing around.
Yeah.
Somebody messing around.
Hang on, we'll do that again. Look. So you can't, so just so you don't move.
Wow.
And what's that? Is that an orb?
Move!
Hang on, we'll do that again. Look. So you can't see, just so you don't believe it.
Wow. Come on.
I bet you can't wait for series 2 now.